The Honourable the Deputy Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It was wonderful to hear that recitation, and I appreciate the comments that you've made, and I want to again acknowledge and thank the member for Terra Nova for his service and his duty. Like many others in this House today, my family has a long history of service in the military. My sister, Renee, currently serves in the Navy. Albeit she's currently in Ottawa, so it's interesting that she serves in the Navy, but in Ottawa. She's currently stationed in Ottawa. She has been stationed in Europe, and of course she is also a Blue Beret, having served peacekeeping duties in the Middle East. And my uncle served in the Second World War. My father was a bit too young, but my grandfather served as a Blue Putty in the First World War. And like many people in this House of Assembly today, and many people in Newfoundland and Labrador, we've all been touched by the Royal Newfoundland Regiment. My father's first cousin, Samuel Gillespie, and for those who've had the chance to visit beautiful Fortune Harbour and have had a chance to see his monument, Samuel Gillespie died in 1918. He enlisted in 1916, and as his brother, and I had the opportunity to know his brother. His brother enlisted in 2016. He was 19 years of age, and he was first wounded, and I say first wounded, Mr. Speaker, because he was wounded on multiple occasions. He was first wounded, I think, on November 21st of 1916, and I completely thank the member for Grand Bank for bringing forward, for Bureau Grand Bank for bringing forward this. I think it's incumbent upon us to refurbish and hold dear the National War Memorial that we have downtown, and continue to honor and respect those that gave so much to ensure for our well-being and our futures. They gave so much, and I don't think it can be contested that we are all indebted to them. I did have the opportunity to do the Trail of the Caribou, where in places where Newfoundlanders and Labradorians fought during the First World War. There are there are statues of caribous in significant locations where there was loss of life, and I did happen to do the Trail of the Caribou. Now we're going to have the seventh caribou, and I want to honor and thank the member for Lake Melville for his work ensuring that we do have a monument that will be placed in Turkey in the battlegrounds of Gallipoli, and we're members of many regiments fought, but so did Newfoundland and Labrador contribute, and had the chance to visit again in Europe the Flanders Fields. So I think all of us in Newfoundland and Labrador, I often say to people who are trying to understand why Newfoundland and Labrador defaulted in the 1930s and kind of had a financial crisis that led then to our moving towards Confederation, I guess, in 1949. But the uncertainty and the financial uncertainty that came from repaying the war debt. And we were one of the few countries, Newfoundland was one of the few countries in that time to repay its war debt. And think of the impact to the province to the island of Newfoundland at the time, and Labrador as well, to the portion of that. So many people serve from Labrador, so many people serve from the island, and so many lives lost, and the impact to families. I can tell you that Mrs. Gillespie, who lived in Fortune Harbour, I read some of her correspondence to the War Office, having lost one son, Samuel, and having had Patrick, who was he was injured multiple times, and I remember him as a young child, and you could evidently, you could see the injuries that he had. He was shot in the head in his final injury, but you could see, and she had many young children. She had lost her husband, and she had many young children, so you can imagine how difficult it had to be for families during that period of time, and the impact on the future of Newfoundland and Labrador. And the impact today on many families that still have members who are, who are serving, who put themselves in harm's way, and we can't thank them enough nor recognize them enough. And therefore, I speak sincerely to everyone who's served, who's had family members who served, to say thank you for what they do and what they've done, and we're all the better for their service, and all the better for their gift to us of our freedom and our future. So I'm very supportive of this private member's resolution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.